Backstory: my husband and I got married last July, but we've been together for a total of 7.5 years. We've always kept our finances separate, but I've been wanting to merge accounts for a while to remove that feeling of his and my money and approach our finances as a team rather than two individuals. If it matters, he makes about $15-20K more a year than I do, but I have the most money in my savings account. Long story short, his car has a lot of problems and he's been wanting a truck for a while. Logically, we really do need a truck to allow us to do more home renovations and be less reliant on family, but I'm not sure now is the right time. I've asked him if we can set a goal to purchase a truck this summer so we can focus on saving up for a good down payment to lower our monthly payments and so we can remain secure with a nest egg in our bank account. I currently have $13,000 in my account. This includes both my savings and my checking account. He has anywhere from $5K, $7K in his account typically. While I've kept my spending more frugal, he has, to be fair, spent more money on our home and daily needs as I work remote, whereas he works in person, so it's easier for him to grab last-minute items throughout the week. I want to make sure I am not making him look like he's being selfish. That's not the case, but I do think he is being immature. He asked me if we can go look at a $39,000 truck this weekend and is asking me to put $10,000 down. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not hoarding my money from him, but I grew up homeless, without basic needs, and I do not ever want to put myself into a position where I am struggling again. We are 100% not poor, but I would feel very insecure dropping my account down by that much when I've been saving this money for years. To add to the conflict, when I remind him we don't need the truck this minute and that we can use my car until say August/September, he says driving my car makes him feel like he's not a man. I tried to tell him that there's nothing manlier than a man who puts his family's financial interests before his wants, but he just clams up. He essentially told me that I obviously don't think of my bank account as ours and what I say is apparently the final say. I've tried to have a mature conversation to weigh the pros and cons, but he is legitimately pouting. I'm talking no eye contact, monosyllable responses, and not engaging in the discussion. I don't want to have him feeling like his wants aren't valid, but how do I get him to see from my perspective? Or if necessary, how do I see from his when he won't give me anything more than it's the only truck that meets our requirements within 500 square miles, you have more money than I do, and your car is a chick's car. Comment 1, spending nearly 50% of combined dollars on a car is wild. I can understand matching him with no more than $4,000. In this economy, I'd be buying the lowest cost reliable transportation and keeping access to whatever cash I could. If the frame of the car he drives impacts his manhood, I'd want him to explore that a bit more. I find it alarming he associates manhood to a truck. Comment 2. $39,000 is twice your combined life savings. If you finance it, it will be more like 3 times before it's paid off. For renovation purposes, you can rent a truck or van from Home Depot every weekend for the rest of your lives and still come out tens of thousands of dollars ahead. Being financially responsible makes you more of a man than he is. NTA. Comment 3. If his masculinity is tied up in the big Olay truck he wants, then he needs to buckle down and save for his big D truck. If he makes more than you yet has not saved hardly anything, regardless of what he spends on the household, then something is not adding up. Absolutely do not combine your finances with him ever. He seems the type to ask for forgiveness rather than permission when he does something stupid like buying a $39,000 truck. Story 2, I, 28F, was with a guy called Jason, 29M, when we were 21 years old. We broke up when I was 22 after I'd found out he had not only cheated on me, but knew he contracted an STD from sleeping around and didn't tell me. He had known about it and he was told he needed to speak to any sexual partners because of the risks associated with this STD to fertility, and he said nothing. I remember when I told my family what had happened, they were all there to support me, and my sister, 27F, was one of them. I did move on and I met my husband a year after breaking up with Jason. And thankfully I was able to get pregnant and we have a baby together. But I never forgot about the fact Jason did what he did. Cheating was bad enough, but you can move on. The STD was where it became not only unforgivable, but I would have taken issue with anyone in my family even becoming friends with him after that point. But then 3 months ago my sister asked me if I would be okay with her dating Jason. She told me she didn't want to lose me, but they had met again after several years and she liked him and he'd changed. I walked away from my sister without saying a word and she started dating Jason officially. Though when she came to me like she did and asked me like she did, I would guess they had been unofficial before that point and not just friendly. I have shut my sister out of my life and she has not been allowed to come and meet my child. The rest of the family stands me and what I decided, but they have not shut her out of their lives. Which is totally fine and not an issue for me. But my sister doesn't like that and she has tried to get in touch with me several times and has cried and asked me to hear her out and to talk to her. The fact I have run into her once since and I ignored her. She was talking to me but I acted like she was a ghost I couldn't see or hear. So she ambushed me at my house the other day and told me she doesn't want to lose me and she'll break up with Jason if I stop ignoring her and we can go back to being sisters. I told her she lost me the second she even considered dating him. I told her I might not have known about it in that moment, but once I heard she wanted to date him, knowing what he did to me, it was over. She's crying about it now and our family are refusing to hear her cries about it. My baby sister, 24, told me she's trying to get the rest of the family to confront me about it, but nobody will. She does think our sister is genuinely hurt about this, but she feels like it's her own fault. And I agree. But I know what I said to her might still be overly harsh because even thinking about it without acting on it would have led to this, which might be wrong of me. So I'm here to ask. Comment 1, NTA, I'm not sure what your sister expected to happen, but that's pretty low. I am curious how holidays and family gatherings work. Since your family still allows her to show up, do you just not go? OP comment. I get the invites to gatherings. They talk to her still, but she's not invited to that stuff, and it was made clear that is extra firm because she is not allowed to bring Jason around the rest of the family. Comment 2. NTA, anyone wanna take bets on how long it takes for him to start cheating on the sister? And whether she'll be lucky and just catch chlamydia off him or if it will be something more permanent this time around? My wife is 27 and I am 28, my wife has a friend, a bit of a close friend, in fact she's been friends with her since past 2 years, I don't like her at all, and a lot of people find her insufferable. This weekend my wife told me that she's going to her friend's house and she'll spend her evening and night at her place with their 2 other friends. I asked her if they'll drink, she told me yes, but she won't go overboard this time and she'll book a cab and come to home before 10. I told my wife that she won't book a cab, I'll come pick her up and she shouldn't drink a lot. She promised me she won't, but I had this feeling that she might drink too much cause my wife has tendencies of overdrinking, especially when she's excited and partying, so I went to pick her up an hour before. When I showed up at her friend's place I saw all these drunk women dancing, drinking and screaming like they ran out of mental asylum, and my wife was laying on the couch clearly drunk. I grabbed my wife and told her it's time to leave. Her friend stopped me and insisted to let my wife stay for a bit longer, and even my wife said to wait for a bit. I told them that they've been having fun and drinking for so many hours and it's more than enough for today. When I tried to leave with my wife, her friend tried to stop me a bit forcefully, and when I didn't listen to her she pushed me and called me controlling and cursed me in front of everyone. I told her that the only reason I am not retaliating is because she's a woman and I'm in her house, but from this moment she's not allowed in my house, and if she comes over to my house ever again, I'll call the police. I left with my wife, and after we got home I fed her, which she puked at midnight, and went to sleep with me, and she didn't sleep until midnight and didn't let me sleep either and kept saying my husband, and hugged me, and she kept complimenting me. I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy that, but anyway now her friends, all of them, are telling me that I'm being a controlling husband and I have no right to tell my wife what she can't do, and I don't have the right to ban her friend from her house. Sure, I'm a bit angry, but my anger is not without a reason, and if I appear as a controlling husband I think my wife's situation warrants it, and I'm just doing what I think is best for my wife. Comment 1. YTA and very controlling. She was at a friend's house safe. She was not throwing up or passed out. She had not blacked out. There were zero signs of danger that you can describe. You showed up an hour early and forced her to leave against her will. The friend shouldn't have pushed you, but honestly I get why she did. She's probably sick of watching you control her friend. This whole post gave me the creeps. Also, I push back on the idea that getting drunk at a friend's means you have a drinking problem. People are allowed to let loose and have fun sometimes. Comment 2. NTA. You weren't controlling, you were looking out for your wife's safety. She was too drunk to make good decisions, and you made sure she got home safely. Her friend pushing you and cursing at you was completely out of line. You have every right to ban someone from your house if they treat you with disrespect. Your wife's friends can be mad all they want, but they weren't the ones who had to take care of her all night. Comment 3. My question is, are her friends married? Or are they a gaggle of single women ruining yet another marriage with the same thought process that has kept them unwed? Mature adults would never come between spouses without damn good reason, and I don't see that here. Story 4. My GF has had body issues the whole 5 years we have been together. I love her and remind her how beautiful she is constantly. She has dealt with an eating disorder before me, and I cook for her to make sure she eats stuff other than energy drinks, chips, and sugar. As of late, she has been having trouble with acne. She might have like 2 pimples and think the world is over. I had tons of acne in high school, got made fun of, and got over it. She has been dealing with it due to the birth control pills she takes. I have told her multiple times that if she hates it, we can go back to condoms or switch pills. She just doesn't, due to fear of other pills' side effects and or not wanting to waste the pills cause they'll throw them away. Today, she went to get this cream that's been helping her with the acne, and apparently, the company stopped making the cream. She's crying on the phone, driving, talking to me about how she's having a panic attack, and wanting to scream and cry in the store after noticing it is not being made anymore. I first told her to pull over and not to drive if she's panicking like this. Then, I told her a realistic plan of trying other products that I could even buy for her so she could test them. I also told her about this beef tallow thing that she showed me a while back. She wasn't happy and told me how she ducking hates her skin and wanted to scream as hard as she can in the store. I told her how she has to find a way to calm down and that something like acne cream shouldn't throw her into a huge meltdown by seeing one of 999,999,999,999 different creams is gone. She yelled at me and hung up. I can understand how much she hates having acne, but trying other creams and potentially finding a better one sounds so easy to me. She will maybe have 4 pimples for a few weeks and won't explode. Comment 1. Nah, has she ever talked to a professional when she was struggling with the eating disorder? She might need to revisit talking to a therapist, because while it does seem like an overreaction to you, something about it triggered her to react that way. Seems like there's more to it than just the cream being gone. Might help to ask her in the future if she wants to talk about it or just get a solution. Comment 2. Soft YTA, never in the history of human beings has telling someone to calm down ever calmed them down. She very likely knew she was overreacting. She wanted you to listen to her, not try to problem solve. Sometimes, people just want to be mad. Sometimes, they just want to vent. Sometimes, they want to scream in the safety of their own home, car, whatever, to decompress and then move forward. I, 22F, have this one dress that I absolutely love. It's nothing fancy, just a flowy sundress with little stars on it, but for some reason, every time I wear it, good things happen. I've gotten unexpected opportunities, free stuff, compliments from strangers, just randomly lucky moments. Obviously, I don't actually believe the dress has magical powers, but it makes me feel good, so I wear it a lot. My best friend Ava, 23F, absolutely hates it. She says it's childish, overworn, and makes me look like I'm still in high school. Every time we go out and I show up in the dress, She rolls her eyes and says, "You're wearing that again?" It came to a head last weekend when we went out to brunch, and I wore the dress. Halfway through, Ava sighed and said, "I can't take this anymore. Can you please just retire that thing?" I laughed it off, but she kept pushing, saying I looked stuck in the past and it was embarrassing to be seen with me in it. I told her she was being ridiculous and that what I wear doesn't affect her. She got mad and said I was acting like a child over a piece of clothing and that I needed to grow up and start dressing more maturely. I told her she was the only one making this an issue, and if my dress somehow offended her fashion sense, that's her problem, not mine. Now she's barely speaking to me, and a mutual friend said I should just drop the dress to keep the peace. But I feel like I shouldn't have to change something I like just because someone else doesn't approve.